Good morning and welcome back, Nighthawks. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you and to kick off the 2017 school year. This morning and throughout the school year, our theme will be consistency, or keeping it consistent. We're going to discuss familiar faces, words, and expectations throughout the Del Norte campus. Contrary to the perception that children enjoy getting away with things, young people do crave consistency. They crave reliability, dependability, stability, and the routine that comes with and from consistency. It generates trust, and it's one of the staples to promote positive behavior. With consistency, reason takes the place of emotion in behavioral interactions when students and staff have a common understanding of the school's expectations, how these will be positively reinforced, and how infringements will be handled. Consistency can take the heat out of some potentially emotionally charged situations when students know what to expect. We're also going to look at how students interact with their teachers and how consistent they are with the staff. We're going to look at a little bit of what our site's data shows. When looking at our A to G rates, there are some room for improvement, especially at some of our at-risk categorical students. Take a moment at your table groups to look at the diploma versus A to G rates for our students here at Del Norte High School, paying special attention to our African American students, our mixed race students, and our ELL students. Additionally, we're going to focus today on our CASP data, specifically on our students with individualized education plans who have some type of educational disability. When you look at our students in the general 11th grade versus our IEP students, there's a dramatic difference in both math and English for who exceeded the standards, met the standards, nearly met, and not met. They're extremely skewed, and this is something we should all be concerned about. When we discuss looping or keeping it consistent, students with teachers, there's so many advantages of looping. Increased instructional time, a fostered bond between students, teachers, and parents, increased parental involvement, reduced discipline problems, limited time lost at the beginning of a trimester, time to postpone high-stake decisions, increased student attendance by students and staff, as well as increased performance rates, and all of this at no additional cost to the district, site, or teacher. When we surveyed the students and teachers about how we currently schedule our students, the kids say the trimester goes so fast. They don't know who their teacher is going to be for the next 12 weeks until the night before. They share at times they're doing the same assignments in Try 2 that they did in Try 1. It takes a while to figure out the teacher's schedules for tutorial, their late work policy, their discipline policies and procedures, and the fact that it takes teachers a while too to get to know the new students and schedules. For the teacher's viewpoint, they feel like just when they got to know the student and family, they're gone. They're not always sure what they learned the trimester before, just to be sure they cover it again. They have 4 periods a day of 35 kids. That's 140 students a day to learn their IEPs, 504 plans, unique health and home situations, computer access. Really, it is overwhelming. So, my goal is for us to work smarter and not harder. Take a moment and let's watch this video clip from Dr. Jeff Drunken Andrada, renowned Oakland educator who speaks to the fact that we must make a connection with our students before we worry about test scores, attendance, or quantifiables. We'll pause for a moment to watch this video and discuss later at our table groups. Let's take a moment to look at a typical 9th grade student schedule. This is a student who, within 3 trimesters, who has 15 classes scheduled, has 13 different teachers. Almost a different teacher for every class, every trimester. That's asking a lot of our young people who are coming up from the middle school, where they have 2 to 3 teachers throughout the entire school year. Let's look at a typical 11th grade AP student schedule. They, during the course of 3 trimesters and 14 classes, have only 5 teachers. We're asking the students who have already proven to be the most resilient and the most academically ready to actually deal with the least amount of change. Additionally, we're asking them or allowing them an entire school year to master their content and their subject matter, where students in the non-AP classes in the standard college prep have to master the standards in 2 trimesters with 2 different teachers. When teachers form positive bonds with students, classrooms can become supportive spaces in which students engage in academically and socially productive ways. We must add consistency to their school day. In addition to them having consistent teachers, there needs to be consistency in the classroom as well as out on the quad. Our school handbook lists the site rules, but are they really being implemented with fidelity? What are we doing on paper versus how are we implementing in practice? We need to take some time to look at the safety that our students feel on our campus. Take a moment at your table group to look at the most recent Healthy Kids survey data for our students, broken up by different denominators about whether or not they feel safe at school. Overall, you'll see that a vast majority of our students do feel safe, but there still are pockets where we have room for improvement. When we're looking at teachers and their expectations, lastly, we need to look at consistency with our language. Carl Albright shares, "Change your language and change your thoughts." Our academic language and how we speak with our students in directions and in expectations really is quite divergent between the academic content areas and how we speak to our AP seniors in civics versus how we speak to our 9th grade students in health. We as a school have taken on the goal of coming up with common academic language, and we'll continue that this school year so that our students really do know what it means when we give directions. So our next steps. Our goal is for 90% consistency for our 9th and 10th grade students in their core academic classes with their teachers. We're going to work with our Synergy programmers and our counseling department to see what steps can be implemented to make this a reality. We're going to look at a clearer understanding of our student handbook. I'm asking for volunteers for a committee to work with our administration, fellow teachers, parents, and students to gain clarity on any of our vague areas. And then we have a rollout plan to teach to mastery our expectations so that there are no questions. Lastly, we'll be looking at consistency of agreed upon academic language. Our department heads will meet and discuss our current academic language list and ensure that the definitions apply across the board, and then focus on the use of them during classroom instruction. As we wrap up this morning before we break out into our groups, I want you guys to see my big picture goal and leave you with some thoughts to ponder with the idea of considering consistency. Can we provide for our students familiar faces, familiar words, and familiar expectations? I think we can. I appreciate your partnership as we follow along this quest for this 2017 school year.